Special weather for Atlantic and United States. Good evening, and welcome to today's special weather forecast. This broadcast comes at a time when the situation over the Atlantic Ocean is becoming extremely complex. With the simultaneous presence of two tropical systems whose level of danger has already been rated very high by experts. On the one hand, we have Hurricane Alberto, currently a powerful Category 4 hurricane, forecast to reach Category 5, the catastrophic level on the Saffir-Simpson scale. Later tonight, on the other hand, a tropical depression is forming near the Bahamas, expected to strengthen into Tropical Storm Alda, with the potential to directly impact the southeastern U.S. coastline in the coming days. These two systems are not only developing separately, but may also interact with each other through a rare mechanism known as the Fujiwhara effect. When two cyclones rotate around one another and cause their tracks to become highly unpredictable. This unusual combination paints an extremely complicated weather picture, forcing us to monitor conditions hour by hour and prepare for the worst-case scenarios. Let's begin with Hurricane Alberto. According to the latest data from meteorological satellites and the National Hurricane Center, NHC, the eye of Alberto is currently located south of Bermuda, moving northwest at a moderate pace. Over the next 12 to 24 hours, Alberto is expected to peak with sustained winds of around 160 miles per hour, 257 kilometers per hour, with gusts potentially reaching 200 miles per hour, 320 kilometers per hour. These are winds capable of wiping out infrastructure along its path, uprooting trees, ripping off roofs, collapsing power grids, and generating massive ocean swells. The good news is that Alberto is not forecast to make direct landfall in the United States. Instead, it will recurve northward and northeastward, heading back out to sea. However, this does not mean people can relax, because even though Alberto will not hit the U.S. head-on, it will act as a weather wall, influencing surrounding systems, including Alda, the new storm now forming near Florida and the Bahamas. As for Alda, the situation is far more complicated because its track is still highly uncertain. At present, it is only a tropical depression designated potential tropical cyclone 9, located north of Cuba and south of the Bahamas, slowly drifting north. Forecasts suggest that tonight or tomorrow morning it will intensify into Tropical Storm Alda, moving very close to Florida's east coast. In the most favorable scenario, Alda will track parallel to the shoreline before curving out to sea, bringing only strong winds and heavy showers to the coastal strip from Florida to Georgia. But in the worst scenario, the storm could hook inland, striking somewhere between Savannah, Georgia, and Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Should that occur, consequences would be extremely severe, with threats of flash flooding, widespread urban inundation, coastal erosion, and hurricane-force winds. Some models even show Alda stalling just offshore, parking in place, for several days. If that happens, rainfall totals could easily reach 12 to 15 inches, 300 to 400 millimeters. Enough to unleash disastrous flooding across coastal and inland communities alike. What meteorologists fear most is the interaction between Alberto and Alda. When two strong hurricanes orbit near each other, they can lock together and spin around in a dance-like motion, altering their paths, the Fujiwhara effect. In this case, Alberto's immense strength could pull Alda slightly out to sea, reducing its threat to U.S. land. But conversely, Alberto might also slow Alda down, trapping it along the southeastern coastline and prolonging torrential rains, thereby amplifying the flooding threat. This is why every forecast remains highly uncertain, and authorities must prepare simultaneously for three outcomes. Alda recurves out to sea, Alda skirts the coast without landfall, or Alda makes a direct strike. Although Alda is unlikely to ever reach the catastrophic wind speeds of Alberto, its destructive potential lies in prolonged heavy rainfall and storm surge. Low-lying plains and barrier islands along South Carolina and North Carolina are particularly vulnerable. Flood experts warn that if Alda stalls offshore for even 24 to 48 hours, rainfall totals will exceed safe limits, overtopping levees, triggering widespread flooding, and cutting off critical road networks. Which areas should be most alert? Current risk maps highlight a red zone from Savannah, Georgia, through Charleston, Myrtle Beach, and up to Wilmington, North Carolina, the corridor most likely to see hurricane-force winds and life-threatening floods. The yellow zone spans from Virginia southward to Florida, where residents must stay vigilant and ready to take standard hurricane precautions. Some areas in South Carolina have already been marked in pink, the highest alert level, due to the potential for catastrophic flooding. Local officials are preparing to issue evacuation orders if Alda sticks to the near-shore track. Another major concern is storm surge and coastal waves. Even without a direct landfall, Alda's proximity could drive waves 2 to 4 feet, 0.6 to 1.2 meters, high along the coastline from Florida through the Carolinas. Coupled with high tides, this could erode beaches, damage piers, destroy oceanfront homes, and threaten lives on barrier islands. As a result, all fishing, boating, and coastal tourism activities must be suspended until the danger has passed. It's worth noting that Alda is forming in what has been a very unusual hurricane season. So far, only 3 hurricanes have reached Category 4 or stronger, but all 3 have exploded into unusually intense storms despite long stretches of apparent calm. Alberto now becomes the second Category 5 hurricane of the season, an extremely rare occurrence. This reflects the volatility of the environment this year, whenever conditions turn favorable. Storms have rapidly intensified into monsters. That's why forecasters cannot underestimate Alda. If the environment improves even slightly, its strength could increase faster than expected. For residents of the southeast U.S., especially Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina, the main message is, prepare now. Ensure your family has bottled water, non-perishable food, flashlights, batteries, and essential medicines. If you live in flood-prone or low-lying coastal zones, consider evacuation plans early. Officials stress that delaying evacuation can turn deadly once the storm is near. Coastal residents should secure boats, board up windows, reinforce roofs, and prepare sandbags to guard against flooding. Meanwhile, Bermuda will also experience indirect impacts from Alberto, strong winds and heavy rains within the next 24 to 48 hours, though not a direct strike. Across the continental U.S., outside of Alda's threat zone, other regions still face harsh weather. The Midwest and Ohio Valley will see scorching highs above 95 degrees Fahrenheit, 35 degrees Celsius, while the Rockies brace for severe thunderstorms. This underscores the broader picture, a combination of Atlantic superstorms and continental extremes battering North America simultaneously. Forecast models currently point to 3 main scenarios for Alda. Least likely but possible, an early turnout to sea, sparing the U.S. coast from major impacts. Most likely, Alda tracks parallel to the coast without making landfall, bringing torrential rain, rough surf, and hurricane-force gusts to coastal communities. Still plausible, a direct landfall in Georgia or South Carolina, producing catastrophic flooding, property damage, and severe disruption to transportation, power, and economic activity. From now until midweek, all eyes will remain on Alberto and Alda. Alberto, though immensely powerful, will soon turn out to sea. Yet paradoxically, this giant may hold Alda's fate in its hands. A slight shift in Alberto's track could drastically alter Alda's path. This is the critical uncertainty forecasters emphasize, and why public preparedness is absolutely essential. To close, Alberto is a dangerous superstorm but unlikely to strike the U.S. directly. Alda, however, poses the true threat to the East Coast, from Florida to Virginia, in the coming week. While outcomes remain uncertain, heavy rain, flooding, strong winds, and storm surge are virtually guaranteed. Residents must closely follow official warnings, make preparations immediately, and never take this situation lightly. Thank you for watching this special bulletin. We will continue providing constant updates as the tracks and intensities of both storms evolve. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss urgent alerts. Stay safe, stay prepared, and may you and your families remain secure through the days ahead.